Hello there everyone, I am Ben the Bold and welcome back to our Hannibal at the Gates campaign where we are building up Carthage to be a formidable adversary to those Romans across the sea. Now, take a look. Rome has actually started to go ahead and expand into Gaul as well as Iberia. No sir, Iberia should be my territory. After all, Carthage does get an achievement for conquering all of Iberia, or having a subject state own all of it. And well, if you notice, our mission tree is the Iberian struggle, where we are going to, well, be asked to conquer a large portion of Iberia. If I remember right, we have to capture both of these regions completely, occupying whether ourselves or subject of ourselves occupying these complete regions. And of course, if we're going to get that close, we might as well try to get the achievement for conquering all of Iberia itself. So that is where we are. However, we are at this point limited by the insane amount of aggressive expansion we have. Well, maybe not insane, but we do have a lot of aggressive expansion, and that's hurting us in a variety of different ways. For instance, wrong culture happiness, that's a killer, 19. Wrong, and then it's even worse for wrong culture group happiness. Well, take a look. If I go to the culture map mode, yeah, I don't have a ton of pops, well, outside of the region of Africa, as well as a couple, little pockets here along the North African coast. I don't have a ton of pops that are Punic. Most of them are these Mesalian, or, well, actually this is uncolonized land, or was this the Marian? Yeah, so we have our work cut out for us because our people are not exactly super excited to be under our banner. However, we are going to try to remedy that. We are, if you go to the province map mode, you'll notice first we're actually converting a bunch of people, but then we will go ahead and assimilate them into the Punic culture. We can do that. First of all, we should probably build some more in like these cities, build some more, well, we can't because you're disloyal, but you're actually getting really close. So soon enough, we'll build some more theaters and temples in some of these cities and start popping, little cities filled with Punic pops, and eventually all of this territory should become loyal Punic pops. Eventually. We will have to see. Let's go take a look. I guess this pays. I don't necessarily need to switch you. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put you in cultural assimilation as well. Might as well have everyone working on converting or assimilating the culture. We are going to go ahead and let the aggressive expansion tick down. We are integrating both the Balearic Islands as well as Iole, this little tiny city right here on the North African coast. And let's take a look at some of the next missions that we have. So we need to have Tartesia's opinion of us equal to or greater than 25. Who is Tartesia? You are Tartesia. And you currently hate us because of our high aggressive expansion. But we're hopefully going to, well, rectify that. There are some inventions that I have taken that will reduce my aggressive expansion. As you can see, we get that equal integration. It's that equal integration, that's the invention by 0.02. Plus our magistrate helps by 0.03 per month, so it is ticking down by negative 0.12 per month. That's not amazing, but it's also not terrible. Ooh, we get this granaries rated. We have this granaries rated event. We have received word from local officials of the province of Maxesium that several important provincial food stockpiles have been looted by malcontents, owing to the contempt for the government across the area. It seems they hope to make tensions worse by forcing a hungry people to action. Alright, so we could lose a bunch of gold. I don't really want to lose gold because I'm saving it up for an invention. I really do need that. We could lose 4,000 manpower and 10 political influence. That's not amazing, but in fact, I think that is what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead, just keep the game going. Alright, so we are working on the heirs of Tartesia, or Tartessa, or Tartessia. We also have the Slinger Port. Basically, we need to own the Balearic province. We are integrating them now. That is going to happen in, well, just a few months, a little over 20 months. The Mines of Iberia. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit so we can see. We need to own those, looks like 4 or 5 provinces. Most of them are owned by this little country right here. So let's go ahead and just, well, I guess we already have a claim. We could declare war. That would make the military faction gain some extra seats. Those in the populist faction would actually lose support for me. Gaining seats for the military... Oh, what happened to you? Blind? Oh, I'm sorry, man. Alright, well, if we gain seats in the military faction, that is going to take seats away from the other factions, including the populist faction. I'm all for taking some seats away from the populist faction, because I really would prefer for Agbal not to become another leader. I kind of messed up allowing his prominence to get so high. I wish I could do something to hurt his prominence, or I wish he would just die, although it may not work. That may not happen for me. I could imprison him. I would gain... So he would lose 50 loyalty, and I would have to pay 2.58. Ooh, this actually might be something to do. So the people of the military as well as the mercantile faction would actually really support that. This would give the populist faction seats in the Senate, though, and that's not something I'm necessarily sure I want to do at this point. I could make him a rival, although that just ensures that no one will vote to vote my way on any legislation. No one in the populist faction will vote my way on anything. I think I'm going to go ahead and endorse... Well, let's see. So, I wish I knew who was coming up to be the next faction leader. It would probably be the person with the next highest prominence in the populist faction, right? So let's go to characters. Let's look at prominence. Yeah, so he is the faction leader because he has 100 prominence. So let's go ahead and look who the next highest prominence... I've been doing my best to keep them out. Now, she is a woman, so I don't think she counts, because I don't think we can have female rulers in Carthage, at least at this point. So it would be you. Your prominence is 30. You get that just because you are prominent. You get a actual modifier called prominent. I mean, good for you, I guess. I could go ahead and smear his reputation. I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that at all. But unfortunately, he does have a high charisma score. So, and he's going to become more and more prominent as time goes on, because you get a little bit of prominence for being a party leader. Well, actually, you don't get ticking prominence for... Oh, yeah, you do. You do. You get 0.35 ticking prominence for being a party leader. So over time, he's going to be, even with his low prominence score right now and not having a job, he's going to be highly prominent. Now, why am I talking about prominence? Well, because it matters in elections. As you can see, having a high prominence, basically whatever prominence you are, if you divide that by 2, that is the contributing prominent percent chance that someone will vote for you. So you can see, like, let's take a look at this man, for example, Agbal. We can look up at the succession support from the civic faction. Now, he has 0% chance of being elected by anyone in the civic faction, and that's because of those 2 negative modifiers down there at the bottom, the disloyal to state as well as not a faction member. So you see, but if we look down here at the bottom of the screen, we have populist faction. He has 20 out of 25 members because 82.6 of them will vote for him. How it gets that is we add up all of the green and subtract the red. So 10 plus 50 is 60, plus 100 is 160, plus 2.95, and then let's go ahead and subtract the 50. And then there's something that happens here with this bad health at 51.92, then reduces support by that to 0.32. Is that 0.32%? This is the one kind of thing that I have a question about as far at this point, as far as how to influence who is going to be your next ruler, this bad health modifier. Because, for instance, if you look at him, his health is not great. It's 51.92. But if I come back here, we have Bomilkal. His health is, well, let's see. his health is 87.46. And he gets bad health at 87.46, then reduces that support to that of 0.77. I'm having a hard time figuring out how that exactly works in this paradox math that gets us to the percent chance for like the mercantile faction or the religious faction to vote for him. I don't know. Anyway, we will keep on going. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out, and I'm kind of trying to figure it out on the fly. Well, I've done a little bit of reading, but mostly because the game wasn't, well, I mean, it was popular to say the least, but it wasn't super well received by the fans. A lot of the work out there about the game is super old, or it's outdated, or honestly, there's just not near as much information out there as one might hope for. So one thing that really helps me is all the comments that people leave on my videos. Every single one of them helps. I appreciate every single one of them. I read all of your suggestions. They're very helpful. They're very good. I'm going to go ahead and grab the siege engineers, and that will at least help me siege down things a little bit faster. We are gaining some money. About 12 ducats per month. That's not terrible. And we should start or keep building more libraries in just a lot of our cities. I know Paradox kind of redid how the map modes work. I mean, well, just how they have them. And I can click and drag these. So, for instance, I like the fort map mode, which I already have the fort map mode, but if I wanted the fort map mode to be somewhere else, I could click and drag it somewhere. Alright, we have an event. A venomous tongue. The governor of Sardinia, Australis, is a particularly weasel-like man, a fact that is making itself clear now more than ever. He has begun stirring up the people of his governance, perhaps hoping to challenge our rule. No, sirree. These people in Sardinia have given me some issues. He is well regarded in his locale. Our response must be made with care. Well, we could have the province lose 33 loyalty. I'm pretty sure they're still gaining loyalty, and then the governor would gain 10 corruption. Or we can just imprison the governor. I'm going to say we cannot move against him. And of course, we have more pirates. Yeah, so we're still gaining loyalty, so I'm not worried about that. Although, do you know what? Alright, so Sardinia is part of my religion as well as part of my culture, so good. We need a new Kahin, and we need it to be from the Barca family. This man looks pretty good. He has very low prominence, so this will help him. He also has very low statesmanship, so this will help him gain some statesmanship as well. He will get better over time. Yeah, so all of these missions, basically, they're just incentivizing us to take some territory in Iberia. Now, I want to do that, but I also have to keep in mind that my aggressive expansion is very high right now. So taking territory would, well, cause me to have even more penalties than I currently do. So unfortunately, I'm just kind of letting the aggressive expansion tick down, and instead trying to sort things out on the home front. After all, I still have lots of problems with my population not exactly being the right culture or religion. There's the culture map mode. There's the religion map mode. Culture, religion. Thankfully, though, I'm at least sorting out my disloyal provinces, although I am having some issues here in Sardinia. You know what? It might be time to go ahead, as well as Maxesia. Where's Maxesia? Ah, down here. That's because I don't have a army assigned to this region, so let's go ahead and build... Uh-oh. He's gotten Mintagra. Oh, no, Bomakal's gotten Mintagra. What a shame. Let's go ahead and recruit some cohorts. I'll do just some skirmishers for now. While I have plenty of plenty of political influence, I'm going to go ahead and build another library, and then I'm also going to entice business investments. Let's go ahead and get some more trade routes going. I guess I could also be building libraries in these states as well. Let's build 2 libraries here, and that's going to be all the money we have for now. I always need to be looking out for these other big cities in the province of Carthago especially, but then there are, of course, lots of other cities. For instance, this is quite the province, and it is, alright. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and let's go ahead and install some provincial procurators here, make this province even more notable. Looks like we need a new magistrate. Bostar Gisco. Gisco seems like he will do the job just fine. He has very high statesmanship, so we will see some benefits from him right away. Aggressive expansion change minus 0.05, so that's good. We'll go ahead and trade away some of our grain. Looks like the 7th Army, oh, it doesn't need anyone because I'm assigning it to the region. The region is going to be Africa. There it goes, and let's go ahead and hire 9 more. Well, actually just 8 more for now, just because we're running out of money. But this should help reduce some unrest, which will in turn increase province loyalty. Ooh, the Suffate offers someone friendship. You know what, sure. And check that out, right away, right on cue, we are now gaining loyalty in the province of Maxisia. Should probably also do the same thing here in, well, actually up here in the northern part of Sardinia. I hesitate to give him an army though. No, his loyalty is very high. Let's go ahead and do that. Integration of IOL, I'm just going to take that last option. Alright, and already Carthage is looking a lot nicer and just kind of more pleasant as we now completely control the North African coast. I like that nice green, and now we begin to set our sights on Iberia. We have several claims here. I wouldn't mind linking my land together, but first I need to take out the people of Bastientian, or Bastetiana, sure. So let's go ahead and start thinking about how we can deal with them. Oh, we're going to have a new son. That's good. Sardinia is going to stay disloyal. We're going to go ahead and assign this army to this region. Still disloyal, but as we build more light infantry, that will change. So I have a couple actual armies for fighting, which I might want to kind of redo how I'm building them. They currently don't have the greatest composition. They are mostly made up of light infantry and archers, with some cavalry and even some elephants, as well as that supply wagon. And then this one as well. This one is mostly light infantry, some archers, some horses, some light cav, I mean, and of course some elephants for good measure. We are making decent-ish money now. How much money would it cost to just drill one of my armies? I think that is reasonable enough to drill one of these armies. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm also going to move you to here, and let's go ahead and get started with our invasion of Iberia. Let's at least move an army to the area. We are very close to integrating the Balearic Islands. When we do that, we will grab the Slinger Port mission achievement. We will complete the Slinger Port achievement, I guess. That's going to give me Archer Discipline plus 15% for the next 20 years. Also, Archer Maintenance cost minus 20% for the next 20 years. So maybe I should start building some armies with archers. In fact, I might as well go ahead and do that over here. Looks like I think I'm going to go ahead and recruit another army. After all, we are going to have to fight here soon. So I'm going to go with, the integration of Gymnasia. Take that last option. It's usually what I do when I integrate. It gives me a little bit of loyalty per character that comes, or sorry, a little bit of popularity per character that comes into my country, and then it kills them off basically, but I like to think that they're not dying, they're just not taking prominent roles in the government. So I'm going to just build one archer here for now, and then we'll add a whole army to it. This province, or this region, is lacking a governor. You know what? I think I'm actually going to put you in charge. Let's actually just get your prominence score. Start increasing your prominence score. You might be a decent ruler for me one day. If I really wanted to increase your prominence, though, I would put you in a job such as the Shepat, which gives you an additional prominence of 30 plus 25 per month. And you are currently giving Senate influence towards the military faction. Man, and we are actually... Oh, come on now. We gotta do something about all of these seats that the populist faction has in the Senate. So I'm actually going to go ahead and endorse the military faction. It's going to hurt our stability a little bit, but it's going to hurt the number of people in the populist faction. That's going to take your number of votes down from 21 to 13. And we'll move you out of first place. Might even move you close to out of second place. If we could increase... Who are you? If we can increase his popularity, this man from the mercantile faction, we could potentially have the military and the mercantile faction in power. That wouldn't be terrible. Honestly, I would love to just imprison you. Some people would like that, some people would hate that. It would give more seats to the populace. We have a new civic advancement. Good. That increases our national commerce income, which is always good because we are Carthage. We make a lot of money from trade. We have lots of goods that we trade away. And we can get tribesman output, slave output up is good. Wrong culture happiness plus 2%, I'll take that. Well, let me rephrase that. I will take that when I get enough money. Unfortunately, the leader of the civic faction has passed away. So let's go ahead and I think grab someone like Milk Police. You don't have great statesmanship, but that will increase. You are 56 though. And let's hire someone from one of these Scorn families to be in charge of this army. Unfortunately, Baal Gisco, he is the best general left in the Gisco family. But let's go ahead and recruit 4 more slingers, a couple more hoplites, and then from over here I will recruit some light cavalry. Let's place you in this boat, and let's go ahead and move you to Hispania. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and trade away that salt. I'll tell you what, I definitely have no shortage for money, or I definitely have a shortage for cash. Normally in this game, by the time you're this large, I feel like you just have all the money in the world. And part of that is because I'm still kind of building up my nation. I have lots of things to spend money on. We could have a governor lose 20 loyalty. He's the governor of Baetica, and he's likely the next co-suffate. So, good. It looks like because the civic faction has a lot of support in the Senate, they are able to vote in one of their own. I guess the reason the last guy couldn't be in is because he was the suffate relatively recently. That's good. It'll keep the populist out of power for at least a little while. Unfortunately, the populace just gain Senate support so quickly because they get that ×2 modifier. So just think about the next man. Honestly, I kind of like him being in charge because he has a relative of the populist faction because he has a relatively low charisma score. So, you know, he's not increasing populist support by just a ton. I mean, it is all by a lot. I'm just going to go ahead. The civic and the military faction have often been at odds, nonetheless. Bod Melquart. How would you like to go through life with the name Bod Melquart? He has approached us with an olive branch, offering a limited amount of cooperation in return for the vague suggestion of a future favor. How could we possibly refuse this, right? So right now, Carthage owes the civic faction 3 favors. I'm gonna turn that down. He's gonna lose some loyalty, but he's pretty loyal to me. Anyway, I'm sure we could figure out a way to boost his loyalty if we absolutely needed. Let's go ahead, go back to Carthage for a second. And we still haven't grabbed, or we still haven't finished this local investment. Gonna grab those 2 more hoplites, and let's go ahead and come bring our navy back towards Carthage for now. Eventually, when I get enough money to start building buildings, I want to eventually build buildings all over the place. Just right now, I'm such a wide empire that I don't have enough time or enough cash to focus any funds anywhere. And right now, no one is willing to trade with me. That's partially, I mean, I could maybe trade from myself, of course, but I'm trading away all my surpluses. Ooh, unfortunately we have... Oh, Balmacall! Does that mean... Yes, that means we actually... Oh, gosh, and you're going to be the co-suffate anyway. Yeah, because you... Let's see, who's next in line? So, Milkharim Hanid, which is not you. Who is Milkharim Hanid? Alright, so let's go ahead and find him. Well, we know he's one of the Hanid family. Milkharim. Alright, so we just need to improve your prominence score. You get plus 20 for being an admiral, but we can make that better. I'm going to move him from being an admiral, so let's first find him. He's in one of our... What is he? He's the admiral of the First Navy. Let's go find the First Navy. There it is. Let's remove him from that. I don't want to put Agbal there. How about this guy? Metallo. Metallo will be in charge of the First Navy. Good promotion for him. And now we're going to put Milkamal, or Milkyram. Milkyram. What a name, man. Milkyram. How would you like to go through life like that? You are not exactly a statesman. You are a sailor, and a damn good one. But You are now going to be the new Shafat of Carthage. Your loyalty is super high at 100%. Is it just me, or is it much easier to have high loyalty now that you're not just constantly dealing with scorned families everywhere? And I mean everywhere with those scorned families. I think at this point, I might make my Carthaginians just a little bit more productive. Or I could actually go with promoting infrastructure spending. Or I could save up some money as well as some prestige or some political influence and upgrade Carthage into a metropolis, which is something I definitely want to do at some point, but maybe not something I will do at the moment. In the meantime, let's go ahead and just promote infrastructure spending for now. Of course, we will eventually change that. And when I say change that, I mean we'll convert Carthage into a metropolis, most definitely. With these heavy infantry, I should probably recruit a supply wagon. Unfortunately, I think that that's probably going to be needed. I also wouldn't mind recruiting some cavalry just to take down the flanks. I really like because if you see here, each preferred flank size is 5. I'm going to go ahead and switch these preferred flanks so that the archers take the lead early on. Then the heavy infantry comes secondary. And then, yeah, I'm going to leave it at light cavalry for now. The light cavalry will take the flanks. Basically, the archers get in, have a chance to do damage. They will... Alright, so they're lost off of the battle line, but it's kind of, I think, meant to simulate them getting in, firing a few shots, and then retreating. And then we have our secondary cohorts that will hopefully actually defeat the weakened enemy after they have taken some pot shots from the archers. And then these flankers come in, of course, flank. Alright, so let's take a look. Alright, and our scheming has worked with the increased prominence. You are going to be a better candidate than Agbal. We're going to play whack-a-mole, try to keep Agbal out of power as long as possible. Although the populist faction is continuing to grow, the military faction is really losing a bunch of support now. And with every passing month, thankfully we are going to get through another 10 years, no, another 5 years without anyone from the populist faction in our upper echelons of government. Perfect. It looks, however, though, that the Senate is going to resist this new election. Basically, we could either lose 15 stability, which is going to make the populist faction really happy, or we could just have people less likely to support us for the next 2 years. I'm going to do that. Stability, unfortunately, drops. We got to increase our stability. Ooh, it's not increasing as fast as I would like. I think I'm going to go ahead and press the stab the pig button. That's going to cost us 48 political influence, but I think it's worth it. We are lacking a governor. Let's place you in charge. Ooh, this is a good opportunity for you to gain some prominence. Good for you. We have we still have some disloyal provinces, but they're all kind of working that out. Also, speaking of, can I now build some... Okay, perfect. I can build some buildings here in Cartan. So let's go ahead and build a... Oh, I only have 4 pops here. It is a city. It should be getting some migration, right? Yeah, people are migrating to it, and people are migrating to it from all over our empire. Lots of Punic people as well. Well, maybe there's no real point. It's a multicultural city, but maybe there's no real point in building anything of note there. How about here, though? This place is mostly Numidian, although we do have mostly Canaanite religion. So let's go ahead here. We have 5 building slots open, and let's build 3 theaters. We'll come back and build some temples here as well, I'm sure. Will that increase my migration attraction? Because currently I don't have a ton of people migrating here. Civilization value helps. Available population capacity helps. We get a base of 1. Coastal port helps. Alright, well. Still have an unused trade route. Still nothing. No one wants to trade with me. My aggressive expansion is continuing to tick down, but only at 0.09 per month. I could try to make that better by hiring a better magistrate, yes. But yeah, so let's take a look. There might be some people out there who have a better oratory score. Sorry, have a better charisma, and maybe have a little bit more statesmanship. All right, so you could say a religious proceeding, a struggle between the religious echelons of our society and the peasants has recently come to light, as the populace at large feel like the religious ceremonies are inaccessible and distant. On the other hand, our augur and his attendants demand the distance needed. We could say the priest will be left alone. I don't really want to lose any more stability. In fact, I would much rather gain 5 stability and gain some loyalty, so I'm going to go with that. We need a new researcher, and we need a new researcher for oratory advancements. Ooh, I don't really want to put you in charge, because I don't want to raise your prominence at all. Marabal Budana, he is going to be, if he gets in power, if he gets his prominence risen up too high, he's going to be quite difficult to defeat in the Senate, but he is a member of the populist faction, so we need to watch out for him. I think I'll put Daniel in charge. His loyalty is, of course, going to be increased. That's going to slowly increase his statesmanship. Let's look around. Like, what's your charisma? Your charisma. Your charisma. Alright. What about some of our other offices? And again, we're looking for people with high charisma, but also maybe have some statesmanship. So, your charisma's decent, honestly. I might go ahead and hire someone else to be augur. Like this man. We could use him to gain some statesmanship. So I'll hire him for now, and now I will bring in the man I just fired, who I already forgot his name. This guy, right? He has 6... Yeah, this guy. He has 6 oratory. Move him in. His loyalty is 95%. Gives us great. Alright, and so that actually helps, because even though he doesn't have the highest ceiling, he helps us more in the short term, and we are trying to reduce our aggressive expansion faster now. We are unfortunately no longer importing wine. Not from Carthage, from somewhere else. I just have... There are so many buildings to build and not enough money to do it. I need to make more money. Now, as I, start converting people, making them happier, making people more loyal, I will be gaining more money. We have a new omen. I think I'm going to... Ooh, I could do province loyalty, but I think I'm just going to continue on with national commerce income. It helps to make that cash. Let's make that cash. We're almost getting 20 ducats per month, so that's not bad. Alright, I'm going to have to go ahead and call it quits here for the day. We've been going for, a little over 35 minutes, so I think this is a good stopping point. We didn't do any expanding today because we were just waiting for that aggressive expansion to tick down. It is beginning to tick down. We did integrate a couple provinces, so overall not terrible. Carthage is really shaping up, I think. And yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. I appreciate all the comments to all of my videos. They definitely help out a lot. So many people are so helpful. And yeah, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content that I make. Y'all have a great day.